everyone, we're Meag and Ben of the WildDriveLife. This is our bus. We've lived in it full time for about 7 months. It took us 2 years to convert ourselves.
Still going.
And we're still going. There's still projects to be done.
Alright, let's go inside before it rains.
Bounce.
Welcome! This is the inside of our bus. It's 31 feet. It's a 3/4 bus, so not too much space in here. We decided to keep it completely open concept. So it's only one room. This is our kitchen, our dining area. Behind us is our living room, the couch that also turns into a guest bed. And on this side we have our wood stove and hearth area. And then leading down toward the bed area on the left, we have our composting toilet in a built-in. The door flips open and the top flips up. And then on the opposite side, the shower, and then the bed in the back.
It was really important for us to use as much recycled and reclaimed materials as possible. So, like our kitchen table is a maple butcher block, a literal butcher block from a farmhouse that we got in Old Orchard Beach. The countertops made out of white pine that we got from a farmhouse. Our floors are reclaimed from a factory in Massachusetts. Let's see, what else here?
As much as you could.
As much as we could. All of our knobs and door handles here, things that we just picked up randomly, antique stores, Habitat for Humanity.
Ben built everything that you see in this bus himself. It's using the resources on the internet, a lot of YouTube watching hours, and his own stubbornness. He was able to build everything you see here.
We paid off $100,000 in student loan debt and vehicle debt.
It took us 3.5 years, almost to the month, to pay off all of our debt. We started by attacking our student loans first and kind of left the vehicles on the back seat because the interest rates were lowered. So we cataloged everything in our budget spreadsheet, so everything was all in the same place, and started attacking the loans that had the highest interest rate with the highest balances first, and really modified our lifestyle to minimize our expenses. I call it overhead too, like trying to treat our lifestyle as a business almost and running it as efficiently as possible. And so we reduced our expenses as much as humanly possible to divert all of our, additional income beyond what we needed to survive toward paying extra on our loans every month. So, and actually more often than that.
And we chose a lot of free types of entertainment. We went hiking a lot more. We biked and running, anything that we could do to occupy our time that wasn't going out to eat or going to the bars or things that really add up over time.
Yeah, so curating that lifestyle that was conducive to reaching our goals and creating kind of, this unrelenting goal and mission in our minds that we had to annihilate this debt as quickly as possible.
It was like a game.
Yeah, it became a game, exactly. And once we saw the balances actually going down and things working for us, then we wanted more of it and, adapted different areas of our lifestyle even further. And through doing that, adding on to what Ben said, we totally overhauled our physical and mental health at the same time. We didn't really treat those as well 5 years ago as we do now. So now we really value those things, and they're at the forefront of our current lifestyle. So
Yep.
yeah.
And going back to the whole viewing it as a game, it really was a mindset that changed. When I got a bonus from work, it wasn't like, ooh, what are we gonna do with this bonus? We're gonna go on vacation. It was, hey, let's attack this big chunk of loan that we have left, and it felt good. It wasn't like, we were losing that money and it was going nowhere, it felt like we were succeeding in attacking that chunk loan.
And we wanted to reduce the amount of time that we had to make those types of decisions as much as humanly possible. So delayed gratification. Yeah, and the money wasn't ours to spend frivolously until those loans were gone, basically.
Now, did you have any trouble, like, whose idea was it in getting each other on board for lifestyle?
I mean, I don't think it was any one of our, like, a single decision.
Okay.
But it would be lying to say there was never any struggle involved or disagreement and like, you know what, we deserve it. Let's go out to eat. And then, you know, one of us might say like, no, let's stick to the plan. We're doing this for a reason. So we kind of kept each other on track, and we're both guilty of straying, and we both helped each other out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Do you have any tips for someone who really wants to like up-level their finances but has trouble getting their partner on board with making lifestyle adjustments?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important, like, communication is key. Just having those candid conversations with one another about what your goals are and not being afraid to really talk it out. And look forward 6 months, a year, 5 years. Like, where do we want to be? Dial it back. How can we actually get there? You have to be on the same page about your lifestyle choices. Obviously, you know, you can be two different people but still complement one another and be on the same page, contribute to the same goals. So for me, it's communication is key. Like, that's what we really, because when we made the decision to start attacking our loans instead of buying a house, we were newlyweds. And I remember, like, the day and time almost exactly, because we were looking into buying a house and kind of were in that mindset, like, we wanted everything right now kind of thing, but we had no safety net. Like, if we got into that home loan, like, I don't really know where we would be right now. But we both looked at each other and had to have a really hard conversation about what we wanted and where we want to be and what we both want to do for work too, because when you have debt, it restricts your ability to make certain decisions and take risks. When it's removed from the equation, you can do something like completely change your career or go back to school or change your location, etc. So, yeah.
We actually made an agreement too before any big purchases. We had to both be 100% on board. And I think that came when we were actually searching for a house. You know, if one of us felt uncomfortable, then the deal was not going to happen, no matter what. And it's important to remember that you're not going to be happy unless you're both happy. If you're living with somebody who's unhappy about the decisions that you've made, then I can't see that working out at all. There's a lot of compromise involved too. You know, maybe, you know, different couples are going to go through it differently than we did. We attacked it really hard and really fast, as much as we possibly could, to the degree that we could at the time. But if you're not on the same page, then maybe you can dial it back a little bit and you have those compromises and still set up a budget that works for you. But maybe you have a night where you can go out to eat once a week or once a month, whatever works for you. As long as you're not in the hole anymore and you're still building, that's still going in the right direction.
Yeah, I can see how it would be tough if your partner's not on board. And we've had those types of conversations with people too, where maybe you have that vision, you know, to be debt-free and try something new, but your partner isn't necessarily in that same space. And it goes back to what Ben said, compromise too. And we've done that for each other too. Like, you know, when I graduated from college, Ben left his job to move, you know, to Vermont, where I accepted a position, you know, right after graduation. And you kind of do those things with each other. You have those conversations and eventually end up in the right space, you know?
We have the same bank account as well, and I always hear different things about that. You know, it works for some people and it definitely doesn't work for other people. You know, it can be totally disastrous to pool all of your money together. We had very similar income levels, so it worked out just fine, and there was never any any negative feelings about that, but for us that really helped. It helped us to view it as this is our money.
Right. We're a partnership.
We're a partnership. We're in it together, and we can't just go spending it without talking about it.
It's kind of like you're both invested in your collective success too. If you personally excel at your job, it's like you're both winning, and vice versa.
Totally.
So like if you make a decision, to shop something out and be patient and wait for it to be on sale versus buying it full price, like that small decision is a win, like for both of you. That's how we looked at most of our decisions. So, yeah.
You're not in it alone, so you can't make decisions alone.
That's right.
You affect each other in everything that you do. Even in your decisions in your job, like Megan supported me and helped me in some of the things that I was struggling with at work, and vice versa. So, when you're in a partnership, you're affecting everything that you do.
Yeah, finances are no different. I would say look at your lifestyle. To me, lifestyle is the number one target of because it's a lot easier to spend less money than it is to make more money. So look at what you're spending, how you're spending it, and see what you can trim, because it's amazing how much that all adds up at the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much exactly what I would say, except for I would add that you got to have fun with it, and changing your lifestyle can be a lot of fun. Like Megan said, it's easier to spend less money than make more money. Well, that means you have to learn to cook all the time. That means you have to buy cheaper ingredients. And oftentimes that ends up being healthy ingredients. So you kind of go down this rabbit hole of learning all these new skills that you didn't have before to try to achieve your goals. And you end up with less debt and more skills.
And maybe you're healthier too. Like we really got into running and hiking on a huge scale that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise if we didn't need to spend less and still have fun. Because you have to have fun with it. You really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of free activities that are also really healthy activities. So
yeah. Yep. Okay. So when we first decided to, rather than invest in a house when we still had $100,000 of debt in student loans and vehicles, rather than investing in a house, killing the student loan and vehicle debt, kind of the thought process where we were at was that I think we had we had a good amount of money saved up that we were either going to put on a down payment or pay off the student loans. And my brother gave me the advice to always keep in your bank account, 3 to 6 months, maybe even more of a buffer as far as living expenses go. But while you have debt that is at a higher interest rate than what your savings is earning, you should attack the debt first. So obviously our savings account, wasn't earning 9% interest like some of our private loans were charging. So that's when we made the decision to drain our bank account with the exception of that buffer, and pay off as much principal as possible to start. And then during the loan payoff process, that 3.5 years, we always kept that buffer in our bank account, and felt pretty secure with that. So even though you're dropping big chunks of money on these loan principals, like if something were to come up throughout the year, we were fine and we could pay for it, kind of thing. And we kept that mentality going even when we didn't have as much or any debt, and we just kept raising the number. So like we would treat a larger number as zero, like you can't touch that, just keep it in your account, and then we raised it, and then we raised it, and we raised it. That's how we saved money to prepare to do the mobile lifestyle too. We just pretended that we didn't even have it. It's not mine kind of thing. Clearly we're passionate about our debt-free journey. We talk a lot about that and also about our bus build on our website, thewilddrive.com, and you can also find us on Instagram at WildDriveLife.